All right, and it is showtime. Welcome to the Friday night block party on Friday night. So hopefully everybody is having a wonderful and fantastic week. Hopefully you've not been impacted by the storms and all the other crazy weather shenanigans in the last couple of days because it's still ongoing. I think it's headed up to like Washington D.C. now. I'm talking about I guess it's tropical depression, Laura. Which is funny. They start off as like a tropical depression, then they go to a tropical storm, then they go to a hurricane. I think that they should just end up as a tropical depression or just like tropical depression in different levels or grades thereof, because tropical storms and hurricanes are really depressing. They're pretty terrible. But we were very fortunate here in Houston. It looked like it was going to hit here, and then it ended up. And they predicted that it was supposed to make a northerly turn and like make a hard right as soon as it got to like the Texas-Louisiana border. And then it was like, well, it shifted over a little bit, So it looked like we were going to get the edge of it. And then we ended up basically just getting like some 20, 30 mile an hour winds briefly. And I didn't even think we got maybe 2 drops of rain. So we're very fortunate, but there's a lot of people who are very not fortunate. So, of course, our thoughts are with them right now. But hopefully the rest of the week hasn't been too terribly bad. Let me post this on Twitter real quick. Let everyone know we're live. I completely forgot today was Friday earlier. Hey, Michael, how are you doing today? I totally forgot that it was Friday. I woke up this morning and it was like around lunchtime, like, holy cow, I got to get this link out for the hangout tonight. It's just been so much going on. I had to work Tuesday, and then Tuesday afternoon, it was like, hey, we're shutting down the office, because I was actually at the office for like the first time in like 2 weeks. I had to go in to do mail stuff. So I was in the office and they're like, hey, go home because we're closing out to prepare for the storm. So like Wednesday, I mowed my yard. I cleaned out my gutters. I picked up stuff in the yard. Thursday, the day of the storm, I had to pull all my pump and stuff for my pool apart. I got up on the roof and I had to put some tar around the base of my chimney just to make sure if it rained really hard, it wouldn't leak or anything. I have an older house. Every once in a while, I'll do that. So it was just a lot of stuff. And then the grocery store, and then dealing with everybody, trying to get water and non-perishable stuff, which fortunately I had a lot of that stuff already, just because of the current climate that we're living in. I've had extra stuff I've kept at the house, but it's just trying live silence LAN party. I don't really know what that is, Tom. But yeah, so not a whole lot other than that going on this week. I'm glad it's finally the weekend. I don't know what y'all have. I'm good. Just got off from an awful live stream, waste of time. What was wrong with the live stream, Michael? Hey, Retethered. Hey, Big House. I don't know if y'all have any sort of a drink or anything tonight, but I'm drinking one of my sparkling waters that I got from the grocery store here. These things are really good. I have an addiction to soda. I really like to drink soda. Yeah, I just do. I love Dr. Pepper. I like Coke. I like pretty much anything carbonated as long as it doesn't have like NutraSweet and that stuff. And I can't stand artificial sweetener, but I get these things because they're only 40 calories. It's a mixture of actual sugar and stevia together. So it doesn't taste like super fake, and it doesn't like NutraSweet gives me like a headache and makes me feel kind of weird. So this stuff, as long as it's cold, I can tolerate it. It tastes really good. Yeah, pure cane sugar, stevia, and it's cranberry and tangerine, but it's pretty good. My kids keep drinking them all the time. It drives me insane because I'll go walk into the kitchen and go get one, and they'll drink them out of the refrigerator, and then they're not cold. So, but they're yum. Beer is good. I've not had any beer in a while. I should do that sometime soon. What kind of beer are you drinking? My favorite's Budweiser. Regular Budweiser, especially on tap, to me is just absolutely delicious. As long as the keg's not stale and it hasn't been there for a while. But it's some good stuff. Tom, I gave up on soda. You like coffee and water. I like coffee. I like water. I like soda as well. I try to drink less soda. I drink more of this flavored sparkling water now. Lots of wine. Wine is not really my thing. I totally love champagne. Champagne is delicious. And and even sparkling wine is fine if you don't feel like spending the extra money to get champagne, so you can pay to have the label on there. But I think the stuff's delicious. I don't like mimosas though. I just like champagne. Lack of focus and arrogance was profound. Sounds like the internet. Blue Moon. Oh, I love Blue Moon. Blue Moon's really good, especially on tap. I do like wheat beers a lot. Hefeweizens are one of my favorites. There's actually one out of Germany that I really like. They like to call it the Franz. It's called Franzenscanner, I think. And it looks like it has like this little monk holding a beer stein on the front of it that comes in a green bottle. We have a German beer garden here where I used to get that stuff, and it was delicious, but you can get it at some grocery stores in the import aisle. Super good. So what's we got going on this weekend? Nothing crazy here. My kids are off at their mom's house. My wife's kids are here. So we'll probably do some stuff here at the house. Nothing too crazy. I've been re-getting the pool water established because I had to drain my pool to fix it. And then I fill it back up, and now I'm going to do my baseline reestablishment for the chemicals, which is a lot of fun, and it's expensive because pool chemicals are a pain in the butt. I learned my lesson, join the streams that have flow, and hosts know what's going on, like yours. Oh, thank you for the compliment. I appreciate it. I wouldn't really say that mine's the greatest in the world, but what I like is being able to come here on Friday night and hang out with everybody and have a good time. So tonight, I don't know what I want to talk about tonight. Last week I wanted to talk 90s video games, or 90s TV and some 90s video games. Tonight, of course, Dan was going to hop on here with me. I don't know if he's actually going to hop on or not. We'll see. I don't know what to talk about tonight. This is normally not super tech related. On Friday night. Friday night's more just like kind of talk about whatever. I didn't want to talk about phone stuff too much, but there are some phone topics that I could entertain because I, of course, have the Samsung Galaxy Note 20 Ultra. And the Note 20 Ultra I actually happen to really love. I like the phone quite a bit. I do not like the battery life at all, which is a big problem. I'm off for the weekend and thinking about smoking some meat, but I don't know what yet. Well, you cannot ever go wrong with some good pork ribs. Thunderstorms. Yeah, we got a stray storm that's coming here too. You can never go wrong with ribs. My absolute favorite thing to smoke are pork ribs. I like to make pork ribs and sausage. Very seldom do I make brisket. Usually I opt to make a pork butt instead because it doesn't take as long to cook, and it very much comes out kind of similar tasting, and there's some good marbling in it too. There's plenty of fat, so you get a lot of good flavor. Pork ribs and Blue Moon. Yeah, but when it comes to barbecue, and if y'all seen the pictures I posted before, barbecuing is a hobby of mine. It's something that I very much enjoy. I kind of perfected my technique and my recipe and all that stuff over many years. And yeah, so I totally love that. But St. Louis style are my favorite. Baby back ribs are okay. Maybe I need to make a video on that sometime. I thought about it before. I mean, I totally love barbecue. When I was learning how to make barbecue ribs, I would go and buy them, and then I would make them. And it's like if they didn't turn out, I just left the pit running and went back to the store and grabbed another one and came back and tried all over again. I put a lot of time and effort into my rib making and learning how to barbecue. Started watching your content. Started watching you for Blackberry content. I found that your other content is great. Houston, Texas. Thanks a lot. I'm guessing, are you from Houston? Is that why you're saying Texas Marine? Or Houston, Texas, whatever. I tried smoking meat, but it was hard to roll and keep it lit. Yeah, I'm not laughing at you, Michael. I'm laughing at Retethered in his comment. Yeah, when it comes to smoking meat, yeah, it's gotten a lot easier, especially if you have one of those pellet smokers. They do most of the work for you. But if you go out and get some logs, I like to get a mixture of oak and pecan to smoke mine with. And I usually smoke my ribs for about 5.5 to 6 hours for the St. Louis style. Maybe on an extra, maybe 6 to 6.5, or 5 to 5.5 for the St. Louis, 6 to 6.5 for the baby back. And this is funny right here. Start a new channel, Meat Odyssey. A lot of y'all may not know this. I started another channel a while ago because I love to cook, and I cook a lot. And if y'all ever notice on Twitter, I post a lot of pictures of food. So I started another channel, and you can actually find it. There's, I think, one video up, maybe two. Anyway, so I made a video of making how to make French toast. I love French toast, and my channel is actually called Chef Odyssey. So if one word, just like Tech Odyssey. So you can probably find it. I created it a while ago, and I never got around to making any other follow-up content because it takes so much time for the food stuff, and it's like I already make so many tech videos. So yeah. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, if you're here in Houston, I was stationed here in the Texas Air National Guard for 16 and a half years. So very, very familiar. You may even be where I used to be at. Let me see. Takes time, but worth it. Yeah. And the thing with barbecue is as you develop your skill and you get good at it and you invest your time into it, once you develop your technique, it's like going into like robot mode. You go into autopilot and you just do it. There's no thinking about it. You just do your barbecue. I mean, it's something that it seems like it's complicated at first. And it seems like, it's really difficult to do, especially to get into, like start getting into. But there's a lot of trial and error. I mean, there's a lot of kind of figuring everything out. And like, it's funny because just like cameras and just like everything else in tech, barbecue pits, they have their own techniques. Like to maintain temperature, you learn how you need to do the vents and how much wood, how much charcoal and all this other stuff. Like it's just something that you think about a lot when you first start doing it. But once you get into it and you've done enough times, you know exactly how much to put on there, when to put it on there. Just kind of go into autopilot. But there's nothing, well, not nothing, but there's not a whole lot of things that are as gratifying as whenever you put all that time and effort. Because there's a lot of time and effort that goes into barbecue. It's not something where you just throw it on the grill and you're like, all right, I'll come back in an hour. When you got to do all the time, the prep, buy the stuff, put everything together to make this barbecue, whether it's ribs, whether it's brisket, whether it's whatever. So you're talking 6, 10, 12, 15-hour time commitment. See it all the way through the end. And then when it comes off the pit and it's good and then people like it, it's really rewarding. And it's like, yeah, it is kind of frustrating. Like you wake up on a Saturday, I'm like, oh, why did I do this to myself? I don't want to spend the next 10 hours cooking. And, then at the end of the day, it turns out good. And then it's really rewarding. So I don't even eat a lot of it because honestly, barbecue gives me really bad heartburn, but I totally love making barbecue. So that's one of the things that I miss right now with all the stuff going on, not being able to see my family. My mom has a lot of health conditions and she's got immune system problems. So like I can't go anywhere near my mom right now. And I'm used to, seeing my mom like once a week, once every other week, her seeing my kids, every big holiday, like Easter, Mother's Day, Father's Day. I mean, anytime there was a holiday, we would get together. And I have some of y'all know this and some of y'all don't. I have 8 siblings. So we would get together all the time. My wife and I, we have 6 kids. My brothers and sisters, they all have kids too. So we get together and I would always barbecue. We'd have it at my house or we'd have it over at my brother's house. So I would always cook a lot of barbecue and we would get together. So that's probably one of the biggest things I miss right now is being able to spend time with my family and then being able to cook and go visit with them. So that is kind of sucky. And hey, and Dan's here.
Yeah. I tell you, it's always a comedy of errors on Friday night. My Yeti wouldn't connect that tonight with my Xbox.
Party talk?
No, my Xbox, my PC. You know what I'm saying?
I was talking about barbecue because we got started. I asked what we were doing for the weekend and stuff. And, Big House was talking about being off and doing some barbecue. So I was like, man, yeah, barbecue is great. And, barbecue for me is a big thing down here in Texas. And it's funny because my dad could not cook to save his life. He knew how to make sausage. He knew how to make skillet sausage and hash browns. He pretty much knew how to make nothing else. Like he really could not cook at all. So that his idea of cooking a hamburger or a steak was my parents would buy them like frozen in the boxes at the grocery store. And then they would go throw the frozen steak on there and like douse it in Worcestershire sauce and some garlic salt and then expect it to turn out good. And they said terrible. I had no clue that my parents knew nothing about grilling.
Waffle House steaks. That's what they are. Oh,
yeah.
So.
Yeah. Well, my grandfather. Yeah, I think I got a lot of it from my grandfather. Yeah, he was a perfectionist whenever it came to making food, especially barbecue. And he was in Louisiana. And I always loved visiting there because my grandmother, she would make Creole, she'd make jambalaya, she would make etouffee, she would make all this stuff. and it was so delicious. I love that stuff. And he would cook all the time, and he could never sleep at night, so he would be outside. Like he would start barbecuing at 3 o'clock in the morning, like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning. He just couldn't sleep. He'd be out there cooking so we could eat, at like 11:30 for lunch. And yeah, he was real big into a lot of that stuff. He used to make his own homemade breads, homemade biscuits, desserts, barbecue. I mean, he was retired. He was medically retired from the military, and he didn't work for like the last probably 20, 30 years of his life. So he lived down on the lake, did some fishing, did some occasional hunting, and did a lot of cooking. So it's a good time though. It is a serious time commitment to get into. What are you eating over there? Calzone?
No, it's toasted ciabatta rolls. I love ciabatta rolls.
So
I'm hungry. I'm sorry. It was either you wait until I finished eating, or I just come here and sat and ate. No.
I was trying to figure out what to talk about tonight. I didn't want to talk
about the Galaxy Note 20, huh? And how its battery is absolutely dog shit. Okay, $1,300, and this thing is fucking awful. I'm just gonna say it right now. I don't care if it gets demonetized. This is shit.
Yes,
shit. There you go.
So yeah, and it's really sad. And we'll go ahead and talk about this. It's really sad because I actually really enjoy the phone.
Mm-hmm.
Like this is the first Note that I've really liked since the Note 8. Like the Note 9, I was like, The Note 10, I was like, this one, I love the form factor. I love the size. I love the screen. It looks gorgeous. Everything about the phone, except for the battery, I really enjoy. And it's very frustrating because, it is a 4,500 milliamp battery. You would think that should be able to power you through the day. And it just is not enough to power you through the day. I'm lucky if I get 5 to 5 hours and 15 minutes of screen on time. So I find that pretty much wholly unacceptable. The only reason that I'm hanging on to mine is because the cameras and the audio are so much improved on them.
6,000. Sorry, go on.
What's that?
I was telling Tom it's 6,000, not 8,000.
Yeah, 6,000.
With a Snapdragon 430 in that new OnePlus.
Yeah, so I totally, from a content creation perspective, the Note 20, the cameras are fantastic. The autofocus is much improved over the S20 Ultra. And if you use a USB microphone, this is the best phone that I have ever seen for being able to plug a USB-C microphone into and record. It sounds so good. I've been using my S20 Ultra for the longest time, and the audio pickup with the microphone, it doesn't pick up a lot of the bass, and some people say that it sounds a little on the tinny side. Like it's not really, really good quality audio.
Did you just say it sounded like it was on the titty side?
Tinny. Tinny.
I was gonna say I don't know what titties sound like. Didn't know they made noises. You're lying. Been eating, I see. Why is your fucking mouth wet? Yeah, I bet. And you're right, Big House. The Pixel 4a, right now is a better phone than the Galaxy Note 10. That 20.
Okay. So the Pixel I totally love, and I have the Pixel 3a XL. I enjoyed the Pixel 3a XL last year. I love the Pixel 4a. I actually like the Pixel 4a better than I like my Pixel 4 and my 4 XL. The only thing I wish that were different with this phone were that it had a larger screen. But at 5.8 inches, it's a totally capable screen. It's a very good size, and it's a nice form factor for a lot of people. So I don't have any complaints about it. It's just if I were to use one personally as a daily driver, I could deal with all the hardware inside of it, just a slightly larger screen.
Yeah, and you would never know that that has a Snapdragon 730 inside it, unless you're a gamer. And I don't do mobile gaming. I'm going to insult people here now, but if you mobile game, you're not a gamer. I'm just going to tell you that you're not a gamer. Sorry.
Well, maybe you should try mobile games because you suck bad enough at console games.
Oh yeah, coming from Leroy Jenkins.
Yes, the Pixel 4a does have a headphone jack on it.
Yes, Pixel 4a is a fantastic phone, especially at $350, and even more so at $299. If you've already got Verizon or Sprint or AT&T, you can walk into Best Buy and walk out of there for $299 with a Pixel 4a.
I think I think the Pixel 4a is probably dollar for dollar, pound for pound, the best phone that I have ever got my hands on.
Yes, without a doubt. Without a doubt. And it doesn't feel cheap. That's the weird thing about it. Because it's one solid piece of plastic all the way around, it just feels so well made. And I don't need a case on it. It's the first phone where I've used where I don't feel like I need to use a case. And everything's just so quick, snappy. And then, of course, I take a picture, and it could be of a pigeon shitting in mid-flight, and it'll catch it like that, no problem. You know, it's like, damn, mate, that's a perfect picture. So
I hope this phone sells really well because they definitely they did a lot right with this phone. So I'm really hoping that that it does well because I want to see more.
My issue is this Pixel 5 that's coming out is going to be supposedly 6 inches, so a tiny bit bigger, and it's going to have a. Yeah, well, no, I'm going for the big one. But I don't understand where the Pixel 5 is going to fit in because the Pixel 4a XL is 6.67 inches.
Yeah.
The Pixel 4a is 5.8, and then the Pixel 5 is 6 inches with a 765G. But they've all got the same screen.
Yeah, I don't really understand where they're going with that, why there's going to be 3, but whatever. Hopefully Google sends them to me. I'll test it, look the crap out of them.
Oh, my God, yeah.
I'm getting the Pixel 4a, but I'm using the Motorola Edge right now. How do you like that phone?
It's a nice phone. That is a nice phone, but I'm not going to say the camera is really capable on that phone as long as you use Gcam. Motorola's camera department is poo-poo. It's just poo-poo. It's not very good at all. But the actual phone, I enjoyed it. But now they've put the price up to $699.
It's not worth that at all.
That's 2 Pixel 4As. Nope.
I'm Surface Duo all the way. So, Tom, did you pre-order the Surface Duo, or you're just your team Surface Duo and you like it and you're planning on getting one at some point in time? And actually, I made a video about it. I released it this morning. Where my video I said is the Microsoft Surface Duo, the new BlackBerry, and I think maybe like 10 or 15% of people misunderstood the meaning behind that. Not that the Microsoft Surface Duo is going to be a BlackBerry phone. I was saying that it is the modern day BlackBerry, like it's the business, productivity, commercial phone, and that's what I was implying by that. Because clearly it's not made by BlackBerry. BlackBerry is making another phone with onboard mobility that's coming out at the beginning of next year, which I'm super excited about. But with this one, that's the angle. And it's funny because I talked to 2 or 3 people, non-phone people, non-tech people, and I tried to explain to them some of the hangups I had with it. And they're like, look, I don't care what the specs are. It's basically what I think of as the new modern BlackBerry. It's toward this, and this is why I want it.
Yeah.
Which is funny because there's so many people that have been pushed away by the inadequacies of what has been done with BlackBerries over the last few years. So the need is still there. Like people still want a multitasking, productivity, business-oriented device. They just don't want a physical keyboard, or they didn't want BlackBerry because BlackBerry had too many hangups with it. So I'm interested to see. I really didn't like the angle that TCL with BlackBerry Mobile took on the BlackBerry. They really tried to make it a consumer device. Clearly, this was not going to be an enterprise device. They tried to make it a consumer device. Consumers didn't want it.
Yeah, totally wrong.
Had they just made 1 or 2, doubled down on it, had some better quality control, and the phone's not had so many issues, and there had been more dependability in the software and the security department, I think that maybe some productivity, some enterprise businesses could have picked it back up again. Because here's the thing with BlackBerry. It's really a productivity professional device, but there are some people like me who prefer to use them all the time. So people like me are going to buy it anyway, but people who are regular consumers are not going to ditch their iPhone and go get one of these. Well, I'll ditch my iPhone or my Samsung in a heartbeat and go pick up one of them because I love them. So people like me are going to buy it anyway. You've got to get those government contracts. You've got to get these back into the professional sector where people can rely on them to be a secure platform where they can do their work, which is what BlackBerry was in the beginning. So if they can do that again and rebuild that rapport and that relationship with the enterprise sector, then yeah, I think they could kind of be okay enough to make a new device, once a year and call it a day. But no, they'll never resurge as what they were before.
You being asked a question about the Note 10 Plus?
I am. I just had to finish talking my 10-minute rant.
I know. That's why I just sat here and sort of gave it into space.
Do I think the Note 10? I think the Note 10 is a fantastic phone. The Note 10 Plus, I totally love mine. I had the Note 10 Plus. I got it when it came out. I had it in the white color. I took it with me to CES. I did all of my videos with it on YouTube for quite a while until the S20 Ultra came out. So it's a really good phone. It's going to do you good. And if you have one,
price you can get them for now, like pick them up secondhand, under $600. Dude,
if you have one of those, you don't need a Note 20 at all. Wait till next year, or maybe the year after. I mean, that phone's going to be good for you for 2 or 3 years, no issues.
Yeah, I think the Note 10 Plus right now, if you're looking at a Note device, what's irritating about the Note 20 Ultra is there's a handful of people getting between 9 and 12 hours screen on time.
And I don't understand it. I have messed with mine every day. I've turned off 5G. I've turned off Wi-Fi. I've turned Wi-Fi on. I've turned adaptive brightness on. All of these things that I'm doing to try and maximize my battery life. And even with doing all those things, I barely got 6.5 hours today before the sucker was dead. So, I mean, if I turn off 120 hertz, if I turn off 5G, if I turn on adaptive brightness, if I turn on adaptive battery, I could probably squeak out 8 or 9 hours. But then
then you're using an S10. You may as well have an S10 Plus. I'm just looking at mine now. I have not used my phone. This thing today, I have purposely not used it. And I'm on 62% left. It came off the charger at about 6:15 this morning. And at 62%, I've had 2.5 hours screen on time, which isn't bad for this phone, to be honest. That's erring on a better side of things. Yesterday, I got 5 hours and 15 minutes or something. And the first day, I got 9 hours. And that's what's infuriating me about this. It's got to be something. I think, I've got a feeling it's that adaptive battery option. I think that might bust something or break something when it's trying to figure something out, because I think I'm going to reset mine and not let it do that and see what it does, because it's like something's running. It's got a lot of, well, I was going to say it's got a lot of drain, and it has actually. I mean, think I've hardly used this, and it's got 62% left.
But it's not showing up in the battery life, though. Like, it's not showing up as a process or a program that's being used, though. It's really frustrating.
And that's it. And that's why I'm wondering whether it's to do with that adaptive battery, because that's something that you wouldn't be able to visually see. That's the software just trying to figure out what you're doing.
Or you could get the Surface doing into the future.
With last year's specs.
Yeah, I have a hard time with that. I really do. I mean, I understand it. I know it's not necessary, but it shouldn't be $1,500 basically. I mean, it's $13.99, but with tax, it's it's $13.99, $12.99, right?
$12.99, isn't it?
Yeah, $12.99. If you get the 256, it's $13.99. But if you get the $12.99, with tax, the sucker is $1,400. So you shouldn't be charged. I don't see what's so expensive in that phone that it is costing that much money, which is what irks me. Yeah. If it were $9.99, if it were $10.99, we could talk. But $12.99.
The engineering looks nice. It looks well engineered. The hinge system and everything. It's nice and thin, and it does look like a really good piece of hardware.
It's still a hinge.
But so does the Lenovo laptops that you can buy for the same price that smoke the Duo. So
yeah.
I know it's a different thing altogether. Duo is, I've said it last week, I've said it weeks on the run, Duo will live or die by its software. And I've got a feeling it'll die. Because they're not showing anybody yet.
Yeah, we'll see. I turned off adaptive battery because it did kill my battery life. I think it's because it pushes to the highest performance mode when it thinks you need that, but don't. I'm still going to mess with it some more. I'm determined to figure out how to get better battery life out of this, because there's got to be a way. I know
that's what it is. Let me turn this shit off. I swear, this phone makes me. I could punch children in the face. This phone makes me want to.
That's the thing. I totally love the phone, though. I have not enjoyed a phone this much in a long time. Like the S20 Ultra, I didn't really enjoy it. Like, I got it because it was 120 hertz. It was a new Samsung. I always get the new phones every 6 months. But I haven't been excited about a Samsung phone in a long time, other than Z Flip. Totally love my Z Flip 5G now, but this Note it's my favorite Note ever. I just need it to work right.
See, Michael Pepper, are you running on optimized or are you running on medium power saving? Because if somebody is using this on medium power saving, you need a smack in the mouth, because you may as well have gone and bought a Galaxy Note 9, because that's the performance you're going to get out of it, because it's only running at 70%.
Let me try that. I've got mine on optimized, but let me just turn it on high performance and see what happens.
Yeah, there you go.
What can it hurt? What can it hurt, huh?
I'll put mine on optimized. But I've turned the adaptive power saving off.
Mine's been off. Mine's never been turned on.
See, I've had mine on, the adaptive power saving. I've had it on all along. So
high performance. Get higher system speed and highest quality display settings. This uses more battery. You can so if you put it on high performance mode, it takes it off of 120 hertz.
Yeah, it goes on to QHD.
So dumb.
I agree.
God, these people are idiots.
You say that, Tom, cases are so 2007, but when you drop your Duo and you make a nasty gash on it, you're going to be like, oh my God, I should have used the bumper that come in the box.
Cases are not 2000. Cases are more and more relevant now than they ever have been. Look, if you're spending $1,400 on a phone and you don't put a case on it, then you're just asking for one day. It's inevitable. You're going to get a scratch on it. You're going to ding it. You're going to damage it. You're going to do something to it. And then you're going to be like, I wish I had that $10 case on there.
Mm-hmm.
People who carry around their $1,000 phones, even a $400, I put a case on every phone because I cannot stand to damage them. If it gets a scratch on it, if it gets a ding on it, whatever, it just irks me. And yeah, I know you can have insurance and you can pay your little payment and get another one. And people are free to do what they want with their own property. That's your own prerogative. But for me, it just makes no sense to not have a case and a screen protector.
This Surface Duo is a Surface team. That's great and all, but they've just released a new version of the Surface Book that is still in the same 3-year-old hardware with an upgraded CPU. The Surface tablet looks like it did from the Surface 4 upwards. The Surface laptop had some mega thermal throttling issues, just like terrible. I had to return mine. It couldn't even run my camera without it lagging. It was like, what?
I have serious questions about their judgment. And you say that like with the Surface laptop, it's like they take these things in there, they don't test them out. They just arbitrarily say, look, we're going to underclock it. We're going to give it less voltage so we won't overheat because we're going to make it so thin that we're not going to put enough heat.
And then it overheats anyway.
Yeah. It just overheats slower.
Yeah, it did. But I mean, that night I had this on my, what was it, 2 or 3 weeks ago? I had that black i5.
Yeah.
The 8 gig. And when you can't run a stream through a camera.
That's a very basic thing.
Yeah. I mean, really?
It's 2020. Being able to do a Zoom meeting or a Skype or a stream is very, very basic.
Yeah, absolutely. I understand people like Surface. I like Surface. But specs does not equal experience. Bullshit, because I've just told you what happened when I used an i5 Surface Laptop 3 2 weeks ago. My frames per second on my camera dropped drastically, and it was coming to the point where I was 2 and 3 frames a second at some point. The computer was so hot. So specs do matter. Engineering matters. You can't just be like, that's like saying the iPhone's the best thing in the world. Bah.
No, it is the best thing in the world. They told me so.
Dude, you're full of crap because the Note, the Ultra, is the best thing in the world. Don't dare say anything about the battery. You're using it wrong. Stop watching them videos.
Oh, my gosh. If another person tells me how I should feel about my phone that I spent $1,400 on, it drives me absolutely mad. Like, look, if I am allowed to be critical of a product that does not work the way that it's supposed to work.
Yeah.
if I pay money for it. Like if it just gotten handed to me, I'd be like, okay, I should be grateful. This is okay, sure. This is a nice gift. I got it, whatever. But I went out and I paid my hard-earned money for this. And then it doesn't get me through an entire day without having to be charged again at dinner time.
Lions man's got the plastic note.
Yeah, I have those on my table in the kitchen that I still haven't opened.
Oh my God.
Just because I have issues.
You're disowned. You, fat boy, ginger gray fat boy, are disowned. Mm-hmm.
How do you like just
find some new friends?
Just ask about it though. I mean, how do you like that Note 20? Is it doing all right for you? I mean, at face value, I mean, it's got an AMOLED screen. It's got a 6.7 inch screen. It's got a 4,300 milliamp battery. It's got the Snapdragon 865 Plus. 8 gigs of RAM. It's got the stuff in there to be a good performing phone. It just is missing all of the good stuff.
Yeah, they give you something that really doesn't matter, an 865 Plus, and then it's like giving you a Ferrari and then wrapping it in dog shit. It was like, oh, what? Why would
it's like giving you a Ferrari and putting 12-inch wheels on it.
Yeah, absolutely. It's like, come on. Here's some pedals because there's no gas pedal. Mm-hmm.
He got the Tesla with the 2.4 liter inline four.
That's exactly right. God. It's flat. I give you that. I wish they would put the flat screens on the Note. I mean, this isn't as bad, and the Note 10 certainly wasn't as bad. But
here's my.
I don't know why they didn't. I mean, I can understand why they didn't use the same sort of screen that was on the S series because they're trying to differentiate. But that was perfect. I thought the screen only S20.
Yeah, Michael says, I think for someone who wants an S Pen and doesn't like the curved screen, it's your only choice. The thing is, you should just buy a Note 10, a Note 10 Plus for hundreds of dollars.
Even a Note 9 Plus, even a Note 9 would do you good because that's going to get Android 11. So,
yeah, if your choice is between, well, I don't want to spend the money to get a Note 20 Ultra, so I'll just get the Note 20. Buy a Note 10 Plus.
Yeah,
you'll be in.
Right now, but you can buy one brand new for $650, maybe $700. You saved yourself $300. You're not going to know that you're using an 855 over an 860.
But they still sell them brand new through Samsung. You can still get credit off of them too.
There you go. So
let me look on Swapper right now. So Note 10 Plus, yada yada yada, unlocked model. So
Linesman, your battery may last long. But so does my Pixel 4a last just as long, and it was nearly 3 times cheaper than your bag of shit.
Well, it does have an S Pen. The S Pen's worth $600.
That's right. Forgot about that.
I mean, the replacement's only $30, but that S Pen's worth $600.
But here's another thing: go and buy a V60 and a Wacom bamboo pencil if you need to have a stylus.
And that's what draws me back to the Surface Duo not being worth $1,400. Look at the V60 with the dual screen or the Velvet with the dual screen, and you can get those $600-700. Like, there's not a $700 price gulf between those two devices when it comes to design and hardware.
Yeah. The Note 10, Michael Pepper, the Note 10 didn't have anywhere near as severe curved edges though as what they used to have. The Note 9 did have.
The Note 10 curved edges are nice. Yeah, the Note 9 and the Note 8 were much more aggressive.
Yeah, they were typical S-line horrible shitters, but I don't know.
They're saying that the S-line or the Note, what they're saying is like what the Note.
They have said this every year. Every single year now for about 4 years. Oh, the Note's going away and it's going to become the Galaxy S21.
Holy cow.
Well,
hold on. The guy who played Black Panther, is that him? Yeah, Chadwick Boseman died.
What?
Apparently he's been fighting colon cancer for 4 years.
No way.
No, just pull up Twitter. He's on it says Black Panther actor Chadwick Boseman dies age 43. Holy cow.
Wow, he has as well.
Wow, that just came out of nowhere. I mean, he just had a movie that came out not too long ago.
Whoa, that is a shocker. I mean,
good gosh. That's horrible, man. I loved him. He was
fantastic, yeah. That was a good film that just come out as well. I can't remember what it was called, but I watched it where he's the cop.
12 Bridges or something.
Yeah, it was very good.
I haven't seen that one yet. It's on my list of ones to watch, but God, man, that's terrible. Yeah, I hate that stuff. I hate when anybody dies, but I mean it's very people like these who touch people, and they make movies, and people like come to really care for them as an actor and as a person, and then it's like out of nowhere. It's like John Travolta's wife died a few weeks ago, Kelly Preston.
2020, man, I tell you. I mean, 2016 was bad, but 2020 right now is like
2020 sucks.
Yeah,
that's why I do this live stream on Friday night, though. Everybody's stuck at home. We don't get to go out. We don't get to go talk. We don't get to go socialize. That's why I don't have an agenda when I come on here. Just go off of whatever's in the comments or whatever people want to talk about. But it's nice just to be able to be in an atmosphere like this, to talk and visit and to socialize. It's like,
it's so sad. I can't believe this.
Yeah, that really threw me for a loop. I was just looking. I'd seen I had a bunch of notifications. Of course, I wasn't tagged on that, but
man, so he filmed Black Panther and all that while he was
and he was in that good of shape too.
Yeah, God, I can't believe that.
That's crazy.
Wow. And not that this is important whatsoever, because it's not important, but I do feel it is important as well for the black community, because he was like a symbol of the black community in the Marvel movies.
He's very prominent, yeah.
Yeah, and I just, wow, that just sucks.
Yeah,
that really sucks. That's knocked me through. It kind of made me a bit sick, that, because, I don't know, I was just...
whole thing's unfortunate. That's the thing with 2020, though. It's like every single new thing that happens, it's like,
It's just like,
I'm so sick of it.
It's like you're repeatedly getting kicked in the nuts. I mean, that's what I was just saying, Big House. He was in Avengers Endgame. He was like I don't, how do you replace that? You can't even replace that guy.
Mm-mm.
You can't. He is the Black Panther.
I think it's just amazing to me, because I mean, clearly the guy he was fighting colon cancer for 4 years. I've known people who've gone through cancer treatment, chemo, radiation, and all that stuff.
Yeah. I
have no energy, and I don't have cancer.
6 months gone. How he's done that? I mean, that's a testament to the guy. How he's got himself so fit, and then filmed movies like that, and then the movie he's just done, and you would never have known.
Another one was like that was, did you ever watch that show Spartacus?
Yeah.
You remember the main character? He ended up dying, I think, of cancer as well. He had cancer of some sort, but the whole thing with all of that too, while he was going through all that and was still in like that crazy fit shape, it's like, how you could do that? I don't even know. I mean, I get like a cold or like a stomach bug, and I'm like in bed for 3 days. So
I'm the typical man flu guy. It's like, oh. So
yeah. That's unfortunate. Well, it's unfortunate that I'm glad that you made it through that.
I didn't see that. I didn't see the one where he was James Brown. I bet that was good. Was it a biopic of James Brown?
It might have been. I love that guy. He's a great actor. I like watching his show.
I am shy. I can't believe that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I figured this was going to go on. I don't want to dive too much into that stuff, because we see that in the news headlines all the time. It's reality is just unfortunate right now. But what we can talk about.
He's the same age as me. Oh my days. That's
well, obviously he made better decisions with his life than you have.
Oh yeah, just a little bit. Huh? Just a little bit. And that explains why, because there was a photograph came out of him back in April, and he was really thin. I don't know whether you saw that. He looked really gaunt and really thin, but nothing came out about him being sick.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, a lot of times when people go through this stuff, they keep that stuff from the public because they don't want the criticism. They don't want all their information. They don't want people hounding them. Yeah. They don't put their stuff in the tabloids all the time. So I totally respect that, people's privacy and all those good things.
Mm-hmm.
Great actor. I will definitely miss him. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, that is. I am gobsmacked. Oh boy, that's really sad, especially as a nerd as well, because I'm a nerd, and a part of my nerdishness has died. It's just no.
Well, talking about other movies, I am really excited about the DC stuff that's coming out in the near future.
The new Batman. That trailer right there if it's all going to be that like that, you know what it looks like? It looks like, well, they even said it in one of the in the tabloids. It looks like Seven with Batman in it.
It does kind of.
Mm-hmm.
It does. It has that feel to it, like with the rain and the dark atmosphere and stuff. It does feel kind of like Seven. And if they're going to continue, I really like that they're exploring this whole like detective side of things.
Yes.
I mean, they kind of touched on it a little bit in the original Batman because he would be there at the computer. Here, Alfred, let's analyze this. The computer was a little centric in the Batcave, as opposed to later on. Like if you looked at Batman Forever, you looked at Batman and Robin. You even looked. They kind of got back to it a little bit with like the Dark Knight and Dark Knight Rises a little bit, but it wasn't so much the computer at. It wasn't so much the computer.
Oh, big house. Come on now, me and you are bros, but no more Ben Affleck. He's just signed on for more. Ben Affleck was.
I like Ben Affleck Batman.
He played the Batman he played was the Frank Miller Batman, who's in his 50s and has had enough. And other than the Justice League crap, he was really good. The Snyder version of the Ben Affleck Batman was great.
So when it comes to Batman, I was very, very disappointed whenever they picked Ben Affleck. So I'm like, look, Ben Affleck isn't everything. Like I'm tired of seeing Ben Affleck. So whenever they first announced that he was going to be Batman, I was like, oh my gosh, this is going to be so terrible. And I actually loved his Batman. Like I loved Ben Affleck as Batman, and I was disappointed when they said they weren't going to make the standalone film with him. And then I'm glad he's back on board for The Flash. I'm glad he's back involved. He's going to have that HBO Max series, isn't he? They're going to do something like that.
He's going to be, and maybe even getting his own version of the Batman movie for HBO Max as well.
That's how they're going to bring this back. That's how DC is going to
timelines. That's how DC are going to work.
Then get the actual actors to do the TV shows, so you don't have to do all these spin-up movies and then bring them together for a movie. They are going to kill. Like this is like them reverse engineering and finding their path to success, like Marvel had, but in their own way.
This what HBO have done now. It's a $30 million tester, and if this works, you'll find Snyder's Justice League will be a thing of its own, and we'll just carry on. They'll just keep pouring money into it, and it'll be its own thing. And I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing, because they must have bought the rights to it, or are they owned by Warner, or do they own Warner? I don't know how it came about.
I don't know how the mechanics work,
but I'm thinking that's how they want to do it, where separate timelines, because he's going to have nothing to do with the Matt Reeves. The Matt Reeves Batman's not going to be in any of the Justice League movies. They're not going to cross or anything like that. The Joker's not going to be in any of them movies. It will be the way to do it. It's 3 or 4 different timelines, because that's how the DC Comics worked as well. Everything was different timelines.
I'm totally cool with that.
Yeah, I'm totally cool with that, because it gives you totally different experiences. You know,
so
this is the Halloween one. So I mean, Christine Bell was great. Don't get me wrong. And Christian Bale was great, but he was made better by Heath Ledger.
Oh, he was. Like Batman Begins was really good. I like that one a lot. It was a great origin story. The thing with the Dark Knight series is it was very Bruce Wayne centric more than it was Batman centric. Like there was so much of it that was tied into Bruce Wayne and Bruce Wayne's personal life. Yeah. That it really explored a lot of that stuff. It explored a lot of how he became who he was, and then also his, kind of role in things. And then it was like half and half. It's like 1 minute he's moonlighting, but also the relationship experience with Rachel Dawes. I think it explored another element there too. So it was really good. Like I really love all the Christian Bale Batmans. I'm glad that Christopher Nolan said we're going to cut it off at the trilogy, because it was very complete. I mean, it's complete as it is. It's
like that Nolan and him, they were both offered bucket loads of money, and Bale even said, "Let's not push our luck. We've done it."
When they started it, we're going to do a trilogy, and that's it. We're going to cut.
And they've recently offered him more money again to come back. He was also in talks to come back to play Batman, along with Michael Keaton in the Flash film. So. But he said, no, I don't want it. That's stepping back. I'm leaving it alone.
The thing with Christian Bale, though, Christian Bale is very much an actor first and Batman second. Like he will play anything. I mean, he played like that. He played the Dick Cheney role. He plays in a lot of different.
No, I mean, he could play something like that as well, the Dick Cheney role. I mean, he was fantastic. And then Ford versus Ferrari, he was so good in that.
He's a very, very good actor, and he's like
English
committed. Did you ever see The Mechanic?
Yeah. Oh my God.
It's great.
About 90 pounds. It's like, what?
He will do anything for a role. And of course, they told him he's got to slow down on that because he's getting older and he's going to kill himself.
Yeah.
But I have been a Christian Bale fan ever since I was a kid. I mean, watching Empire Under the Sun.
Yeah. All of them. He's done so many good things.
Yeah, he's been around for a long time, and he's one heck of an actor. And also want to say hi to Big John Tech Reviews there, and yes, Batman of Tech right there. So thanks for stopping by. And Bane, I love Tom Hardy as Bane. Like I loved his Bane. And the funny thing is though, he's not. I mean, he was a very muscular guy, but he's not as big. There's a lot of camera angles that made him look bigger than.
No. Tom Hardy. Did you not see him work out for that? He also did another film called Bronson.
He's got huge muscles. I'm saying his height.
He's not as tall. He's only, I think he's 6 foot.
So Bane is
camera angles.
They did a lot of camera angles. If you notice, kind of
Tom Cruise is the same. You watch Tom Cruise films; they're always slightly below because he's only 5'9".
Yeah, and yes, but if you pay attention in a lot of the scenes in Dark Knight Rises, especially when Bane's in them, they'll have him up on the steps. They'll have him in different angles
on the stairs or something like that.
So he looks very imposing, but he's not actually that tall. Like Bane is supposed to be like 6'5". Like he's a really big guy, but
Mexican. That was another thing that threw me off. I'm surprised there wasn't an uproar about that, really, because they totally rewrote Bane for that movie.
Was Infinity War movies a letdown? Heck no. Infinity War is great.
Yeah, Tom said that DC and Marvel movies are dead to him and doesn't see the point. I love them. Bring them on.
More DC, the better.
Yeah, DC, yeah. And I think DC have made their mind up. That's the other good thing about seeing this Batman trailer. I think DC have made their mind up of we don't need to be like Marvel, like they tried to be with the Justice League. They need to be dark. Just do the dark, like intense films. It's going to differentiate yourself, and it's going to bring in a bigger audience, I believe, instead of trying to bring in. When they brought in Joss Whedon and all these little stupid one-liners in the Justice League, it was so boring. And you could tell the reshoots were so red compared to some of the Snyder stuff that they kept in there, a totally different color tone. Ben Affleck weighed about 15, 20 pounds more than he did in some scenes than he did the others because he had to come back and do reshoots. They even did something with his face. If you look at his face, they put like it's like they had a Samsung phone on his face and it was skin smoothing it. His face looks weird.
It does, yeah. He doesn't look like Ben Affleck.
No, they totally. It was just like,
yeah.
I'm sorry, Tom. You think we're grasping for excellence? You think the Surface Duo is the future?
But yeah, DC has always been more mature. It's been more fringy, more dark. Mm-hmm. It's just always been that way. I mean, you look at Superman, you look at Batman, the stuff is very dark.
Superman, so that film, I love Snyder's Superman. People panned it. I thought it was really good.
Oh, I loved it. I love the new Superman. I was a little disappointed with how they brought him back in the Justice League. Like, they brought him back. He's angry. He comes into the last minute and fights. He whoops. What's his name?
Drawn black suit. No, nothing. Just the right. They tried to do the Rise of Superman, and it was just like
it was. They tried to get the death and the rise of Superman combined in with the Justice League. It was just too much.
Yeah, it was too much.
It was very forced. Like there should have been another movie between Batman and versus Superman and the Justice League.
They shouldn't have also done Batman versus Superman, or they changed it into Batman v Superman, or whatever it was called. They shouldn't have done that movie first either. They should have done standalones first. You already have Man of Steel. They should have given Ben Affleck his Batman.
Yeah, that's where they failed.
And then sort of brought them into each other, and then done it.
They tried to go backwards because with the Justice, like with Marvel and the Avengers, they already had all those initial ones planned out before they got to the first Avengers movie, and then another set, and then another Avengers movie. With DC, they had like two, and then they're like, all right, we're gonna just bring Batman and Superman together, and then we're gonna bounce to the Justice League. And it's like
the weird Wonder Woman connection. It was like Superman may as well not have been in that movie. He may as well have had his own movie.
Yeah.
Because it revolved a lot around Batman finding the Justice League members and Wonder Woman first.
And the thing that's frustrating about all of it, the thing that's frustrating about all of it is they got the characters so right. Like Henry Cavill is the perfect Superman.
Nailed it. Aquaman nailed it. Her who played Gal Gadot nailed it.
Yeah, they nailed these characters, and it's like they can't get the movie down. Like,
nailed it. And that's what I'm looking forward to in this new Snyder Cut, because the story is going to revolve around Cyborg and what happened and his family, because that's a really dark story. And his dad dies a lot more. It's just, there's a big story.
He needed his own movie too. It's like,
he does. And this is Justice League is basically going to be Cyborg's movie in a way. It really is. It all revolves around him. He brings Superman back. Well,
ties everything together. Like everything is tied into Cyborg's character, but they try to make him a side character in Zack Snyder.
Normal people don't care about Marvel or DC. They had it as children.
I'm not wasting any more time with that. But either way, so when it comes to his character, it's like he's so infused in everything that goes on in that movie, but they try to make him like a side character. It's like,
yeah, it was terrible the way they just sort of cut, and you could tell he was cut out. It was like you could see there was chunks missing out of it where it
very disjointed.
Yeah, it was extremely disjointed. I don't know. I think Snyder had the right vision. He really did.
Well, it was fortunate because real life got in the way because his son died, and like, look, I totally understand the guy taking a leave of absence from the movie to go take care of his family.
I mean, as soon as I heard the name on that, I was like, "What? The guy's just come off Marvel."
It didn't make any sense.
No, it was like you bringing somebody in from Light and Happy to you going from Batman versus Superman that was dark and broody.
At least they didn't bring in Tim Burton.
May well have done though, you know what I mean? At least it had been dark again. I don't know.
What gets me with Tim Burton?
Everything looks the same.
Tim Burton's style worked in the 80s.
Yeah.
He's too much weird zany stuff. Like he's great for Beetlejuice, but Batman and Joker are not Beetlejuice.
But that's the way they made them, and they made them more campy because of that. And
and that's fine.
Tim Burton was. He did the first one though with Jack Nicholson. That was really good.
He did the first and the second one, but he also did Edward Scissorhands. He did Beetlejuice.
Before Christmas.
Yeah. He made a lot of stuff that's iconic. I mean, he did. But you look at the stuff he's touched now, like Willy Wonka, and I think he made Alice in Wonderland. I think he was behind that one too.
I thought it was pretty good, actually.
He's out there.
It's a Tim Burton film, but
like he's a little out there for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he is, but it's a style of his. But his style does not suit DC.
You can tell whenever he makes a movie. It's like if you watch. If you watch a Guillermo del Toro movie, if you watch a Scorsese movie, if you watch a Zack Snyder movie, like you can tell.
Michael Bay, boom,
everything. Have you ever seen the 3D Titanic trailer where they're making fun of the different video styles?
Uh-uh.
Oh, I gotta see if I can find this real quick. Maybe I'll play it on here. It's funny because they're making fun of like the different actor styles, like George Lucas and Michael Bay.
Mm-hmm. Michael Bay is great. Michael Bay is great if you want a film with very little substance, but just balls to the wall. It's good. I like some of them films. I don't have to have a lot of depth in films. I love Rambo. Rambo for me is just a great movie. There is no real story to it. It's just this dude's going to go out and he's going to kill people. Love it.
All right, I found it. Let me see if I can share this. I mean, it's not copyright, so it's whatever. You're gonna enjoy this. It's funny. Let me see if I can share this with everybody. Share screen, Chrome tab, Super 3D. All right, let me know if you can hear this. Can you hear this?
Chadwick is back, digitally upgraded with new 3D motion field technology. I'm the king of the world! You can feel the action. Now, with more monsters and an up-to-date soundtrack. In cooperation with George Lucas. J.J. Abrams.
Lens flare. Yeah, I knew that was coming.
And Michael Bay.
That is perfect Bay as well.
Mechanic. Super 3D. Coming soon.
That's funny.
Oh, here you go.
Boom. Oh, I was waiting for the explosion again.
Oh, goodness gracious.
Titanic was a good movie. It was a very good movie. Very well done. Not very factual, but
no. But it's very, James Cameron did a good job with it. Anyway, I just had to share that. We were talking about the different directors and the styles because like I said, Michael Bay's explosions.
I knew as soon as it said Abrams, I knew first thing we were going to see was a flare. Yeah.
Oh, we're already an hour already, man.
Yeah, it's gone quick. I don't know. The Matt Reeves, but touching back on Matt Reeves' Batman, it's quite obvious it's not what people thought it was going to be. No. And I like it because of that reason. I mean, the Riddler, who'd have thought I would never, because when I heard the Riddler was going to be in it, I was like, how are you going to put the Riddler in a film now?
That kid that's playing him, that kid's like 30 now. Mm-hmm. The guy playing him is one heck of an actor. Have you ever seen the movie There Will Be Blood with Daniel Day-Lewis?
No.
Oh my gosh, dude, you got to watch that. So Daniel Day-Lewis plays like a Texas oil man, like way back whenever the big Texas rush with the oil, and they were just now going around. And the thing is they were learning how to do wells and drilling, and people were, just like, it's back whenever they were coming in swindling people basically out of their oil rights so they could dig it and get the oil. And they're like, here, we'll pay you a little bit or whatever. But great movie. So Daniel Day-Lewis, the main actor, he's this oil baron guy. There's this little town they built, and there's this little the dude that's going to play the Riddler is like the little pastor at like the little made up church there, and he's all sorts of charismatic. A lot of disasters happen. A lot of people die. Daniel Day-Lewis actually ends up adopting this kid. There's an oil well explosion, and he goes deaf, and then it's like everything kind of starts falling apart. But this guy, that's the pastor of this church, is just completely crazy, and scamming people and stuff. And they have like this contentious relationship between him and Daniel Day-Lewis. But I mean, it's really good. His acting is really, really good. So when I saw that they signed him on for the Riddler, I'm like, this guy can play like a disturbed person. So if you haven't,
I was just shocked how they did the Riddler, and it's perfect. It's perfect how they're doing it. I mean, they're giving him the green coat, which is fine. That's all they need. The way they're doing it, making him like some creepy serial killer who leaves riddles behind. That's just good.
What's in the box?
That's exactly. See, that's exactly what it reminds me of. Just like it. And then you've got the guy playing Gordon. For me, it just seems like he's Morgan Freeman and Batman is Brad Pitt.
Did you see that they've also got Colin Farrell is going to play the Penguin?
Him in that trailer, you can't even recognize it's him.
No, you can't. What's his name? Arthur Cobblepot? Is it first name Arthur?
So I think it's Oswald.
Oswald. Is it Oswald Cobblepot? Yeah. Either way, yeah. So he plays him, and I saw him like, man, he looks nothing like him in real life. But Colin Farrell is another one who's a really good actor. And I'm going to give it to the guy. I don't really care. I don't really care for the guy playing Batman. I'm drawing a blank right now.
Robert Pattinson.
Robert Pattinson. I don't really care for Robert Pattinson, but he's not a bad actor. I just have not cared for the videos that he's made because I hate
things like that. But like The Lighthouse, and then he played another film where he was bringing up his brother, and he was out.
I see The Lighthouse. I've got that queued up on my Amazon. I just haven't watched it yet.
Very good. He's an exceptional actor. His problem is, up until now, everyone sees him as a sparkly vampire. And this will get him away from that. This will totally remove him from that.
But that's another thing, too. Like, every time they get someone who you think would be a good Batman, they're not good. Like, you look at Val Kilmer, you look at George Clooney, it's like...
George Clooney had the perfect look with the jaw and, the swagger, the charm.
It was so terrible, though. It was like it was like an ice capade. That was just terrible. But when they said Christian Bale originally, I'm like, as Batman? And then they're like, Ben Affleck. I'm like, as Batman? I'm like, as Batman?
Mm-hmm.
And now you've got Robert Pattinson. It's like, every time it's someone you don't think that could be a good Batman, like, these people that make these decisions, they go through all these screenings. They go through a meticulous process. Yeah. They've clearly seen, as like, whenever they said that Heath Ledger was going to be Batman, Joker, I never in a million years would have said, Heath Ledger as Joker, and then turns out to be one of the top 20, top 15 greatest character performances ever of all time.
Yep. And the thing is, I never thought Robert Pattinson would be able to play the violent streak, but that trailer there, where he comes out with the "I'm Vengeance," boy, he whooped some ass in that and looked great doing it. It was like, damn.
After what Kristen Stewart put him through for like all those years, he got a lot of anger to work out.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm really, really looking for. I think this, if it's going in that direction and it stays that way, because they said they've only recorded 25% of the film, filmed 25% of it. As long as they don't do any stupid stuff now and it carries on in that tone, this could be the best Batman movie we've ever had, by far.
Maybe.
We'll see. It's fact that it's year 2. I don't have to see his parents get shot again. I'm so bored. We all know what happened.
If I have to hear, if how Martha and what's his name? What's his dad's name?
Oh my God,
Thomas. Yeah, if I have to see another rendition of Martha and Thomas Wayne dying, I'm going to throw up. Like, I don't want to see it anymore. Like, I'm sick of it.
Yeah, I don't need to see pearls dropping on the floor over and over again.
Yeah, it's like, how many times can somebody pull a string of pearls off someone's neck and shoot him with a revolver?
Yeah.
Every time we have a Batman movie, like, I've had enough.
Mm-hmm.
We know that he's disturbed. We know that he has issues with his parents dying. We know that he wants vengeance.
See, Big House, Jim Carrey was the perfect Riddler back in the 90s.
Time. The thing was with Tommy Lee Jones was actually a good Harvey Dent.
Yeah, he was a very good Harvey Dent.
But the problem is that the Two-Face character was just
stupid.
Yeah, that whole movie was stupid.
That last one, I mean, they nailed it for Poison Ivy with Uma Thurman. But it's just the film was crap. It was like and then Arnold Schwarzenegger as Mr. Freeze. It was like,
chill.
Yeah, it's like, come on.
Allow me to break the ice.
They were terrible. I mean, the second Batman with Michael
the
Keaton.
Iceman cometh.
Yeah, exactly. That third and fourth one, Val Kilmer. Whoever decided Val Kilmer was Batman, I hope they're flipping burgers at Burger.
The whole thing with that movie, Val Kilmer wasn't even necessarily a bad Batman. It was just a bad story. The whole movie was like him going through therapy with Nicole Kidman. Mm-hmm. It was just bad. The story was bad. It's like you got handed the greatest superhero of all time whenever it comes to videos and comic books and people loving him. Like, everybody can watch Batman. It doesn't, he's a superhero that doesn't kill. It can be a PG-13 movie, and you can get away with it any day of the week. He's human. He's vulnerable. He's a detective. He's got all these different arcs and side stories. Like, you can take a 6-year-old to go watch Batman. I mean, other than Dark Knight, because the Joker's kind of sadistic. But
the new one's going to be R-rated.
Typically, Batman Returns, Batman Forever, your kids could go watch that movie with you. I mean, it was like they were not bad. And it's like they got handed this stuff on a silver platter and ruined it, like, so bad.
Absolutely. Totally destroyed it. I hope the Batman is R-rated. I really do.
That would be perfect if it does. That's the
They
thing.
need to do an R-rated adult Batman. They really do.
They have proven that they can make R-rated movies and people will watch them. Look at Deadpool. Look at John Wick.
Yeah, exactly.
And here's the thing with these movies, and I won't let my kids watch Deadpool. I will let my kids watch John Wick. John Wick is mostly just action. Like there's no nudity, there's no perverted stuff. It's just action. Mm-hmm. It's shooting, and it's just like me. My dad let me watch Rambo when I was like 6. I grew up watching Rambo.
I grew up on Rambo and Rocky. Yep.
Like, there was always an exception. Like if there was sex or nudity or perverted stuff, like sinister stuff, we couldn't watch it. But if it was just Rambo blowing people up, my dad would sit down on the floor with us and eat popcorn.
Yep. Yeah.
So if they make an R-rated Batman movie, every kid in America is going to see that movie because everyone's stuck at home and they're all going to live stream it and they're going to pay for it. Like, look, who cares about the box office label? Yes, box offices are going to be trash. People are not going to the movies right now. If you make that Batman movie rated R, it will be the best-selling film of the year.
Oh, without a doubt, they make it because it looks extremely adult. You can't go with the 7 look, but then make it a PG-13.
They can't. No, they can't make that PG-13
work. It's just not going to happen. What do you think of Black Adam? I'm quite looking forward to that as well.
Yeah, the trailer on that one kind of irked me because it was all cartoon.
Yeah, there was nothing filmed.
I don't know anything about Black Adam, so it's hard for me to get excited about it. But I like The Rock. Like I like watching Dwayne Johnson in anything. So I mean, he's a good character. So I think it'll be good. I like that they're fleshing out some of these other characters because for so long DC, everyone's like, it's Batman and Superman. Who else is there? Yeah, like there's actually a lot. So. Just stay away from Daredevil. I hate Daredevil, and Ben Affleck was a terrible. Like that movie. That movie was terrible. That was not Ben Affleck's fault. That movie was atrocious.
Yeah, even he says it. He admits it. He's sorry he ever did it, but it wasn't his fault. Wasn't his.
You know what though? If he didn't make that, he couldn't have. He wouldn't have married Jennifer Garner, and he wouldn't have had a good 15-year run at it before his alcohol issues ruined his life.
Yeah, and what's crazy is she got a spin-off film from that.
Electra was better than Daredevil.
Yeah, it was.
And I went and saw that one because my best friend had like the hugest crush on Jennifer Garner back then. So he dragged me to go see Electra at the theater. I'm like, we already saw Daredevil and it sucked. You're gonna make me go see this movie too? Anyway, man, it's already 12 after. I guess we'll probably go and call it.
Whatever. I love the new Wonder Woman, by the way. I do think they're really good movies.
Oh, dude, I am so looking forward to it. Like, I like Kristen Wiig. I like Gal Gadot. Yeah. I'm curious though about this CEO guy and how he kind of falls and everything. I'm not familiar with her story. Like I know Cheetah, I know Wonder Woman, but I don't really know how everything falls into place. But it's really cool. I mean, I like the armor suit. I like the whole lasso with the roping the lightning to travel and stuff. I wonder if we're going to see the invisible plane in this one.
Yeah.
I mean, they did a plane at one point, so I'm wondering if she gets in the plane and then like finds out she can use her lasso on it and turn it invisible. Because you see her get the plane.
Well, you see, because she attaches to the lightning and all that in that film as well. If I remember right, it shows you that in the trailer. She figures that part out.
And plus, I love the '80s, and the soundtrack is going to be epic.
Oh man, that film's going to be great. It really is. She is, like you're saying, these people who sit down for the casting, she is perfect. She is Wonder Woman.
Yeah, freaking Jason Momoa, the perfect Aquaman. Gal Gadot, the perfect Wonder Woman. I'm not going to say Ben Affleck is the perfect Batman, but he's darn good.
He was the right Batman at the time.
Yeah,
definitely. And Cavill, I could not see. There is nobody right now I could say, oh, he could do Superman.
He is the perfect Superman. He's just that good.
Yeah.
The only thing is with like the Flash, I'm like Ezra, whatever his name is, but he's okay. I have no strong association with Flash's character because they can't ever do it. It's like, why can't they just make a decent Flash movie?
Yeah. Well, they're going to supposedly this next thing that he's going to do, the Flash movie, it's going to involve Batman and it's going to involve the Barry Allen from the TV series and.
It's going to have a lot going on, but if they can pull it off, I'm going to watch it.
There's rumor that he's going to go back in time and save Thomas Wayne.
That would be interesting.
Which happens in the comics.
Oh, I didn't know that.
And Thomas Wayne becomes Batman instead, or like a version of Batman. Yeah.
Do you know the Batman that I want to see? it might have been like the Vengeance series Batman. You remember whenever Bane broke Bruce Wayne's back, and then he had that other Batman, he was blonde-headed guy, and it was whenever Bruce Wayne was like in like he was in rehab, he was at the long-term care facility because his back was broken in a wheelchair, and there was what was his name, Nightwing.
Yes.
So there was Nightwing, but there was also this other Batman, and this other Batman like straight up would kill people. And I remember that like the Joker wanted him gone.
Didn't it turn out to be Robin?
No,
and the Joker killed Robin.
The Joker does kill the original Robin, but that doesn't have any. That happens right before that, I think.
It does. I don't know. It's so long ago.
Yeah, because this guy, it's not the original Robin. The original Robin turns into Nightwing. It's the replacement because there's actually 3 Robins. The second Robin is the one that Joker kills, and then there's a third Robin later on. But the first Robin, so it's kind of weird. But yeah, that other Bruce Wayne, the Batman that's not Bruce Wayne is the one that like goes around and like breaks people's legs and kills them. And
I thought that was his dad.
No, that's not his dad.
Well, there's a version of it where his dad's like that, where the Flash goes back in time. I'm sure of it. He goes back in time, saves the parents, and Thomas Wayne is like the vigilante, but he's an evil bastard.
John Paul is his other name, otherwise known as Azrael. Young vigilante at the time, possessing a dark past, Batman and his sidekick Robin had been helping him overcome. After Bruce retrains himself back into fighting, he confronts us. John Paul is his name. I actually had the comic series for when this happened. It's the Nightfall series is what it is.
Yeah, Nightfall. Yep.
Yeah. So I actually had the comics for this, and they are really good. But yeah, this guy was straight up messing people up while Bruce Wayne was locked away.
And this new Batman is based on the Long Halloween comic.
Yeah, there's so much. I wonder
so many, like you say, so many different timelines they can do.
I wonder if there's like, you know how Marvel has like the digital comics like on the app you can get? I would love to go back and read these comics because like I had this comic series when I was a kid. I had a lot of them anyway. And this was the only one I actually collected. But yeah, it was good. I would like to see a movie made about this one day.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a few different Batmans. Like I said, I'd love to see, and that's what Ben Affleck was going to do. I know Dark Knight Rises, the last one, was supposedly the Frank Miller where he comes back, broken Batman comes back, but you didn't get that I'm tired side, and he lost all respect for law. Whereas the Batman version that Ben Affleck was playing, you could see they were getting to that. They were building up. He was branding people and kind of beating the shit out of people, killing people, shooting people. He didn't care. And that was building up to the Frank Miller version of The Dark Knight. I don't know whether you ever read that. But
no, I haven't.
That is the best Batman read you can do. It's fantastic. And it's basically an old, grizzly Batman like Ben Affleck was playing, and he's just tired. He's tired of it. In fact, in Batman vs Superman, he even says that I'm just tired of it. Oh, I'm tired of dealing with them. And it's just a purely violent old Batman. They tried to get Stallone to do it, believe it or not.
No, that would have been perfect.
Stallone was in line to become the old Batman. Something happened. I don't know why.
He could have done that really well.
Yeah, it's not tall enough. That's his problem.
I'm waiting to see if we get this second Demolition Man. Like I was all about this renaissance with Sylvester Stallone going on and the revitalization.
As soon as he's finished this Samaritan, where he's playing a superhero, believe it or not. As soon as he's finished that, he goes into Demolition Man 2.
Yep, we'll see. And I was talking about the Hunter movie as well. And I mean, there's a lot of
feeling that's going to go back to what it was meant to be. That'll be Rambo 6.
He said he was going to make it. I saw an interview where he was like doing all these Q&A stuff, like quarantine.
Yeah, I watched that. Yeah, when he was sat on his balcony.
He's like, "We're making Hunter." I'm like, yes.
That was Rambo 5 for years. Probably the last 20 years, that has been the 5th installment of Rambo.
The thing that gets me is I feel like there was so much time that was lost where he should have made these movies 15, 20 years ago.
Give him the funding for it.
I know they wouldn't, which was surprising. It's like, come on. The dude
Rambo 4 was so well received and it made so much money across the world. And then they wait, 15 years since that last one came out?
They should have rolled right into some of those other movies and
remember a film called Homeland? It had Jason Statham in it and Kim Basinger. They break into her house and they hold her hostage. You remember that film? Sure, it was called Homeland.
Maybe it sounds familiar, but I can't remember off the top of my head.
Kind of a crap movie, but it's like Kim Basinger and his daughter are held hostage, and it's Jason Statham's the bad guy. That is the story of Rambo, but he couldn't get the funding for it, so they made it Homeland.
I'll have to check that out. I don't think I've seen that one.
That is a Rambo film.
All right. Why don't you go ahead and wrap this up? Already 20 after. Been rambling on here. I mean, there's still 10 people in here. Whoever's been in here listening to us ramble on about movies for the last 30 minutes, y'all are some saints.
Yeah, way to go.
Hopefully it's been enjoyable for y'all. Like I said, I try not to talk so much tech on Friday night because, I mean, we talk about that stuff all day long, week in and week out. So Friday night, I like to talk about other stuff. Tonight just ended up in talking a whole bunch about a movie stuff. So hopefully y'all are now inspired. Now, I'm planning on watching Batman Returns this weekend. I took my wife a couple of months ago to the movie theater, and we saw the original Batman, and I love that one. It's classic. Yeah. So I'm going to watch Batman Returns this weekend. And I
with Liam Neeson for me in them films.
Yeah, so I'm not going to be watching Batman Forever, Batman and Robin. But anyway, thanks a lot for joining us tonight. Good time as always. We'll hope to see y'all back next week. Of course, we'll have our Unhinged Tech Show on Wednesday night. Sorry I didn't have it this Wednesday, but I did not know what was going on with the hurricane that evening. We were still projected to be getting some of that, so I didn't want to be sitting here with my family inside with 40, 50 mile an hour winds and worrying about other stuff. So it ended up being not bad at all, and we were okay. So thankfully that was awesome. But we'll reconvene with Unhinged Tech next Wednesday. And y'all have a wonderful weekend, and thanks for stopping by and hanging out tonight.
Later.
So we'll see y'all later, and have a good night.
Watch Batman.
Yeah, all of them. Bye.